My name is Nassim Beladel. I am presently a research assistant in the great lab of Dr. Charlotte Franco in the Delft University of Technology. And besides that, I'm also the founder and chair of this initiative titled the Young Neuromorphs. So that's what I'll be presenting about today. But before I start, I'd like to take a step backwards and collectively reflect on the present state of development of the field of neuromorphics. In recent years, we've seen a very rapid expansion of the field of neuromorphics, as well as increasing levels of commercial applicability and interest. And these developments positions our field in a very critical transition. The recent victories of machine learning have only served to further invigorate this interest and acceleration in our field, which in some sense instrumentalizes neuromorphic research efforts to the end of designing more scalable, efficient, and genuinely autonomous intelligent systems. On the one hand, this heightened interest accelerates the development and deployment of practically useful neuromorphic technologies, which concurrently bolsters the field with newfound interest and practical domain expertise. On the other hand, this perceived subjugation of neuromorphic research efforts also causes some level of friction and discomfort, as these AI-aligned research ventures sometimes seem to depart from the foundational philosophy of neuromorphic engineering as a discipline. Now, it would be difficult for us to concoct a decisive answer on this dilemma right here, right now, but we do very strongly believe that a concentrated and particularly conscious collaborative effort can help us mitigate these frictions and navigate these uncertainties facing our field. To this end, we firmly posit that the targeted inclusion of young and new practitioners is absolutely essential. We should capitalize on this window of rapid growth and exposure to accelerate the ease with which newcomers can contribute to the central questions we seek to address. But you don't even need to hear this from us. As we often like to do, let's return to the progenitive thinker behind neuromorphics. Indeed, in his review paper, Carver Mead wrote back in 2022, the very final few sentences of the paper, he concluded with this incredibly instructive adage, which we as the Young Neuromorphs take to heart. My message to young people in this field is this: you will have inspirations beyond accepted practice and current thought. Be bold, actualize them. Some could change the world. It will not be easy. You will be treated with skepticism or outright ignored, but it's worth the struggle. And through the adoption of precisely this boldness, we dare say that we can be the transformative key towards ushering in a new era of neuromorphic research, consolidating the emerging trends in our field. Of course, maybe we speak in a somewhat hyperbolic manner here, but we invoke the privilege of leniency granted to us young people in response. But, putting this figurative and provocative speech aside for a second, what is it that we actually want to achieve, and how do we intend to achieve it? Put simply, as the Young Neuromorphs, we principally intend to address the entry barrier to our field, ameliorating the navigation of our frequently confusing research landscape. Neuromorphics is an intrinsically inter- and multidisciplinary discipline, spanning everything from semiconductor device physics to computational neuroscience and even beyond. This forms, in some sense, an impediment to newcomers to understand and engage with our field, but on the other hand, also forms an imperative placed upon us to structurally engage with and include these subservient disciplines in our efforts. By elucidating the relevant and pressing research themes engaging our community, dissected into their intradisciplinary constitutive research questions, we can democratize neuromorphic research. Setting this flowery language a bit aside, what does this actually mean? Let's break this down into our specific ambitions and goals. Our ambitions call for a central and actively maintained overview of educational resources, accompanied by a map of the confusing research territory that neuromorphic computing and engineering spans. This means that we need some kind of online platform which actively maintains and collects educational resources and even provides the opportunity to create new ones. Right now, we are involved actually in a collaboration with the Institute of Neuroinformatics, who are working on this website at neuromorphs.net. It's still in development, but this website is meant to serve as a central platform for future neuromorphic endeavors in our community. And we are specifically working on a subdomain at young.neuromorphs.net to host these educational resources and platform we intend to shape. Besides this, we also want to focus on the systemic exchange of knowledge, more platforms for the local exchange of knowledge, especially to the newer and younger generations. There are already numerous community efforts to exchange knowledge. This workshop and conference is an example, Icons. Obviously, the Telluride and Kapocaccia workshops and the recent expansion to Bangalore. However, we maintain that more easily accessible and cheaply accessible platforms and events are essential to really help address the entry barrier to our field and proliferate neuromorphics as a discipline. In the online spaces, we are seeing some kind of effort in this direction by Open Neuromorphic, which organizes these weekly hacking hours and used to host these educational seminars online. This is an exemplary step in the right direction, but we want to pursue this further and take this more seriously as a community-wide effort. In the past, there was also this European initiative, Neurotech AI, which undertook similar things, but unfortunately the funding ran out, so we hope to maybe continue along these similar lines. Implicitly, these 2 points also invoke the necessity of a third instrumental goal, which is the fortification of the open source neuromorphic community. Already we are seeing the emergence of some commendable efforts like NEAR and Neurobench, but still there is space for much, much more. For example, looking at the machine learning research and practice, this community enjoys a very widespread and vibrant open source community. Whereas the realm of neuromorphics, and especially of its constitutive hardware technologies, lags behind immensely. Design procedures being incredibly obscure and few open source research projects to take inspiration from make it more difficult for young and new practitioners to really enter the field and contribute to our research. And finally, which I guess is some kind of overarching ambition of ours, is this emergence of an organized neuromorphics that stands in this sign of collaborative science. Looking at past scientific fields and endeavors, these were vitalized by young people coming in and trying to collaborate across disciplines, across the subservient fields that span the domain in which they are active. And we hope to engender a similar kind of effort in our community. Now, these 4 pillars give rise to a wide range of more specific projects we intend to pursue, some of which we are already pursuing. These include educational seminars, both online and offline, in person, but also the foundation of university-level student teams, interdisciplinary events, and many other such examples. To give you more specific insight into what we have been working on this incredibly exciting collaboration with the neuromorphic intermediate representation community, Jens and Steve in particular, to organize an FPGA hackathon, tasking participants to translate these NEAR graphs to an FPGA bit stream directly, accelerating the design of embedded SNN projects, which would help many, many young practitioners get a foot into our field. And besides this, we're also working on a position paper codifying our ambitions and desires and strategies that we intend to employ, and many other such things, actually. One of our members, neuroscience students, is looking into setting up a symposium inviting computational neuroscientists to explain these properties from a biological perspective, and other such projects. If you're interested, be sure to approach me. We can certainly discuss this in greater detail. I see that I don't have a lot of time left, but to conclude, what are we still looking for? Principally, new members. We want as many members, and don't be fooled by our name. We might be called the Young Neuromorphs, but we are mostly young in spirit, and we intend to collaborate with as many people. I hope that I don't offend anyone here. I was approached earlier, but putting it aside, so whether you're a bachelor, master, PhD, or postdoc student, or even a especially cool assistant professor, you're more than welcome to join our ranks. And we intend to forge these collaborations with people established in academia and industry alike. So on that note, I will conclude my presentation, seeing as I have 30 seconds left. To lend some further credibility to our efforts, we have already collected a number of endorsements from various partners we've been collaborating with, spanning, for example, Professor Indiveri from the Institute of Neuroinformatics, Dr. Charlotte Frankel from the Delft University of Technology, and various other collaborators we have at the listed institutions. So please follow and join us on our socials. Be sure to follow us everywhere, and you can send us an email. We have Google Forms too. If you're interested, we'd love to hear what you think and how you want to contribute. Thank you very much for your time.